You're, at least I've read, a very low-key, very religious. You're a brash New Yorker.
Religious.
Religious?
Religious, yeah, religious. Hey, I won the evangelicals. The evangelicals,
but that doesn't mean
nobody
religious.
thought, well, I think it means a lot.
An interesting exchange during that 60 Minutes interview on CBS Sunday night, Donald Trump and Mike Pence, and spirituality in politics. With the convention underway, will Mr. Trump's message alongside Mike Pence truly resonate with evangelicals who may heretofore have been apprehensive about supporting Mr. Trump? Let's talk about it as we are joined via Skype from Charlotte by the president of the Southern Evangelical Seminary, Dr. Richard Land. Richard, as always, we appreciate your time on Newsmax Prime.
Great to be with you.
So, Dr. Land, here it is. Governor Pence, a guy I knew in the Congress, a guy who has shared his soul at prayer breakfast. We know he's a prayer warrior. He's not ashamed of the gospel. Will the selection of Mike Pence help bring over some evangelicals who may be a bit skeptical of Mr. Trump and his campaign?
Well, I think it will and should. I wrote an open letter to Mr. Trump last week, and I said that one of the most important things he could do to solidify his support among evangelicals would be to pick Mike Pence as his vice presidential nominee. I've known Mike for a long time. He is the 24-karat gold genuine article. He means it from the core of his being when he says he's a Christian first, a conservative second, and a Republican third. Evangelicals ought to be extremely heartened that Donald Trump would pick Mike Pence to be his vice presidential running mate.
And yet the dynamic of the two candidates of this ticket, very interesting, because during that same 60 Minutes interview, Mr. Trump, of course, said, hey, look, I won that evangelical vote on my own, but there's no doubting that Governor Pence will help as we move along toward November. Once again, here's an excerpt of that interview.
I won states with the evangelicals that nobody thought I'd even come close to. And
That's
I won.
true. So you didn't need
landslides.
him for the evangelicals?
I think it helps, but I don't think I needed him, no, because I won with the evangelicals.
There have been others who have described Donald Trump as a, quote, baby Christian. At the same time, the Constitution makes it clear there shall be no religious test to serve in office in the United States. I'm just kind of interested, since you have reached out and you're part of the Evangelical Executive Board offering advice to Mr. Trump, what is your assessment of Donald Trump? Bold, brash, a believer?
I don't know. I'm not qualified to make that judgment. They reached out to me and they asked me if I'd be willing to be part of the executive committee of the Evangelical Moral Advisory Board, and it did not require endorsing Mr. Trump in order to be on it. And I have not endorsed Mr. Trump. I'd have to have a personal conversation with him as a pastor. I would want to have a personal conversation with Mr. Trump and ask him if there's a moment in his life where he has asked for forgiveness of his sins. We know earlier he said he had never felt the need to ask for forgiveness. Hopefully that has changed, and he has accepted Jesus' sacrifice on the cross for his sins, and he's invited Jesus Christ into his heart. I hope that has happened. I've heard reports that it has. I hope that it has. For his sake, if for no other reason, because as a born-again believer, I believe that's the one way to eternal life. But certainly, Mr. Trump can do things. He's a relatively recent convert to conservatism, and one of the things I said in my open letter was, two of the most basic tenets of public policy are, number one, previous performance is the best predictor of future action, and personnel is policy. So as a relatively recent convert to conservatism, then I would encourage him to make it very clear that he's going to have a cabinet and an administration that is going to be peopled with strong conservatives, people like Chris Christie as Attorney General, people like Rudy Giuliani as either Secretary of Defense or Director of Homeland Security, people like Dr. Carson as Director of Health and Human Services, people like John Bolton as Secretary of State. Any and all of those kinds of moves to say, if I'm elected as president, I'm going to pick someone very much like Ted Cruz to replace Antonin Scalia. All of those things will reassure evangelicals that he is going to govern from a conservative, constitutional, and traditional morality perspective.
And of course, we know from the Gospels, Jesus said, render unto Caesar those things that are Caesar, but to God those things that are God's. And so Christians in the marketplace of ideas, in a free society, have a choice to make, and we know that many will join you in prayerful consideration of the Trump candidacy and indeed down ballot as we try to determine what is ahead for this country in this temporal world. Dr. Richard Land, tonight from Charlotte. As always, Richard, we very much appreciate your insights.
God bless.
Now, before you and I part company tonight, Newsmax TV had the chance to hit the streets of New York City to ask if you thought it's time for the Never-Trumpers to give it up and unify the GOP.
I 100% fully think the Republicans should endorse Donald Trump. At this point, if you're not going to endorse Donald Trump, what are you going to do and what are you going to bring that's productive to the table?
I think in the end they're going to have to, because they didn't get their way in what they wanted to do and to overturn him in this political situation that we're in.
I don't believe that the Republican Party should be endorsing Trump.
I think they should go and look toward the third candidate. The only third candidate that's going to be on the ballot in all 50 states is going to be Gary Johnson.
I do feel like at this point, unity and unifying is the only thing that makes sense. Going off the deep end, going difference, that's not what a Republican Party is. That's not what a party is in general.
And we are going to go back to the phones for our final call of the evening at 1-877-NEWSMAX. Let's go to Milford, Ohio, where Larry is standing by. Welcome to Newsmax Prime, Larry.
Hi, JD. How are you?
Doing fine, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to make clear before I even say anything. I do not think Melania Trump plagiarized, at least not intentionally. I think she was a victim of her effort. You know, all the first ladies or presumptive first ladies, they have positions to fill, and they have to make an effort. They basically address social issues, and I don't think she's any different. And I think she just became a victim of her studies. I mean, she probably studied many speeches by many first ladies down the line, and you know, there's only so many words that will describe certain efforts.
Sure, working hard is hard work. Yeah, that's right. There are just uniform words to use. And Larry, we appreciate your words of wisdom tonight from Milford, Ohio, when you say, hey, look, Melania gave a good speech. As always, we appreciate what you have to say, and we appreciate you watching Newsmax TV. A reminder that tomorrow night and Thursday night, we want you to join us. Coverage begins at 7 tomorrow night with our good friend Ed Berliner. Then I will be behind this desk at 8 and carry you through till midnight on the East Coast. That'll do it for tonight. We'll be looking for you tomorrow. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned, and thanks.